Hey everybody, yesterday featured the first appearance of Kushinada Kai. So, we'll see my run of that occurred last night. As you can see from the time, I did stay up late for whatever reason and attempted it. Now, the gimmicks you're going to have to worry about here is mines and damage walls. So make sure you bring monsters that have both because they both do a significant amount of damage. I think the mines do upwards of 20 to 30k damage, and the walls definitely do a lot. And the other gimmick here is, as you can see, the skulls will be the gimmicks to activate whether or not the blocks go up or not. And as you can see, the blocks will basically be in your way to deal major damage, and if you flip them down, you can in turn deal a super amount of damage. And I think it helps really here with the party I brought because both Dorothy and Harley have boosted Minesweeper abilities, and Walpurg is of course helping out with her delay strike shot will be super useful as well. And as you saw in that last turn, if you take out both of the skulls in the same turn, they all collect up. So you're going to want to plan your routes accordingly such that you take down the appropriate number of skulls, because the shield down there is your only source of healing. There are absolutely no hearts in this stage, so unless you bring monsters that have Minesweeper, damage wall, and healing, it's going to be a little bit tough to keep your HP up. And of course, that does mean you probably do not want to bring anybody that has null block. While it will allow you to have access to attack the monsters, I feel like protecting those shields is much more important. Because there will be a lot of sources of damage in the later levels, so keeping those shields alive is going to be pretty important. And they are pretty weak, so you hit them a few times, especially with mines, and especially with monsters that have Minesweeper M or L, they're going to disappear really quickly. And of course, if you clear the mini boss on each stage, that signals the end of that stage, so everybody else will run away. So you don't necessarily need to take out anyone except for the boss, but of course, since there's no healing aside from those shields and the healing walls, I would definitely suggest doing the taking care of the minions in a prompt manner. And really, even the I forget what they're even called, but those guys with the skulls, the top left, bottom right, they're also pretty soft, so you can damage them pretty easily. Even though it looks like they have a good amount of HP, you know, as long as you slice through them, especially with, again, I may be biased because I brought a team full of super powered Minesweepers, but they definitely disappeared pretty quickly. And with Harley with the weak point Slayer as well as Minesweeping, she can deal a lot of damage really quickly. But I guess the downside to this part is just, make sure you don't miss the gauge, because like I said at the very beginning, the amount of damage that the walls do is pretty significant. Alright, so we're already on battle 4, and again, that Medusa on the bottom left, it will deal a significant amount of damage, and as you can see, it is protected by the blocks, so you're gonna need to take down one of those guys on the top left, bottom right. And now that we took out one, it will protect, in turn it will protect Kushinada, but it'll give us a chance to start dealing damage to Medusa on the bottom left. And so you want to try and take her out as soon as possible. Thankfully the guide is up, and unfortunately I wasn't able to do enough. And okay, so unfortunately I took down the other skull on the bottom right, so that means I'm gonna have to rely on bump combo. Actually, that attack there is why you want to take care of Medusa really quick. You know, as with the mech bird, laser mech birds, you know, if you're just in the wrong spot with your monsters at the wrong time, you can just be taking a lot more damage than you would like. Or of course, the blocks don't stop bump combos, and Walpurgis's bump combo, you know, that lock-on shockwave. Probably another reason why she's super useful on this level. Now at 48 turn, that's pretty long for the boss, but we are gonna have to deal with 4 gauges. I think that's the same as Kushi, right? Yeah. But these monsters are pinchable, assuming that the blocks are down. And as you can see, it's good to get those blocks up quickly so that you can at least protect the shields from direct damage from your team. And if you have a Pierce type that's positioned well, you might be able to get a good amount of swishes on Kushinada Kai there on the bottom right between the blocks. But yeah, we've done a pretty good job here in clearing out the minions, so that means just less damage and less worry about having to heal yourself up. Because if you're in the, you know, you might be unlucky, the like on the bottom left, it's a little bit hard to get there to heal up without dealing significant damage to those shields. And since the mines get thrown around everywhere, you know, I think everybody can pick them up, yeah. And okay, unfortunate so that shield is down, so we're down to 1 shield, so we got 1, I guess, third panel of healing walls. Luckily we're able to get rid of one of those skulls here, put the blocks back up, so maybe the bottom Walpurgis, and if we're lucky with the weak point, that Dorothy might be able to deal a lot of quick damage. Yeah, that was a lot of damage. And that was pretty good damage too. Maybe if I was a little more flatter, I could have dealt a little more than that, but that's alright. Let's see, Dorothy. Yeah, we're gonna deal damage directly because that Walpurgis is right at the weak point. Actually, maybe we got rid of her before the weak point damage got dialed in there, but now everybody has a strike shot up, which is great. So we have Harley will deal damage if I can hit the weak point. Oh, so that was a great first turn too. Got lucky with the positioning, taking out the skull so that we at least protect the shields off the bat. And it also lets us deal damage to the Medusas. Again, the Medusas do deal a good amount of damage, so the fact that there are 2 of them, probably want to get rid of them quicker than later. But of course, hitting everybody is not a bad thing. And oof. Yeah, those numbers are starting to get low. I think that left one is that reflect laser that we want to keep tabs on. Oh no, I guess it's the right number. But luckily, not too many of my monsters were in that line of sight, so got a little bit of protection there. And let's see. Ooh, alright, that Medusa on the top right, just barely staying alive, but we should be able to just poke one of my monsters and that'll be it for that. So we're gonna want to try and take out the oof, okay, sorry, we are not gonna want to try and take out those skulls right now because we're in a pretty good position. The blocks are up on the right protecting our shields, and you know, just hopefully trying to get some good damage on Kushi. Now of course it is, I guess it's pretty hard not to kill those guys, so making sure that you don't kill both at once, so that at least you have a quick opportunity to get those blocks back up, will help. And unfortunately we lost one of our shields, so hopefully we can get out of this stage quicker or pretty soon, because again, losing those shields means losing your source of healing. And even though I feel like Kushi has Kushi has a pretty tame attack scheme, I guess. It doesn't feel too threatening, but of course that's just because, you know, I had those shields up for the whole time. I've had plenty of runs earlier in the day where I just got a bad bounce, killed those shields really early, and that basically screws you for the stage because the damage adds up and it won't go back down. Especially with my team. I don't have any healers here, so there's no way my team could heal up. And I mean, 95,000 from like the first 2 turns of that stage, not easy to recover from. Alright, lucky positioning there for Dorothy, taking out those minions. So now we just have to worry about the mech dudes. I don't remember what their names are. But now we can just make sure we get the blocks down so that we can start. We have that opening on top. Or actually just being able to attack Kushi. Having those pierce types able to go through the weak points over and over will be super helpful to deal damage. And there we go. You may also want to scope out your proper times to heal, because as you can see, sometimes we'll be hidden behind the blocks, hidden behind the shields, and that just makes it really difficult to access. And, oh yeah, that's another great thing about Walpurgis here, that laser stop. Alright. Unfortunately we lost a shield there, so we're down to one panel, 1/3 of the wall to be able to heal ourselves. And oh, alright, looks like I'm going to try and take advantage of the weak point, see if I can do some overkill damage. 2.3 million? I wonder if that was more Walpurgis than Harley, but that's still a good amount of damage. Let's see. No, not much overkill, so maybe I should have waited, but I wanted to see how much I got there. So again, we got the Medusa on the top right that we probably want to get rid of quickly. So getting rid of one of the skulls on your first turn is probably a good idea. As you can see, the shields are on the left and right side, which means at least one of them will be exposed at all time. And there is, as you saw, there is a little bit of Kushinada Zero sticking out on top. I think all around, there's just a little bit you can touch her. So I was able to get her there with my delay strike shot. And the great news is because I still have the other Walpurgis in my pocket, so I can basically kill everybody else for free and not worry about damage, which is great. Unfortunately, didn't really deal damage to that Medusa on the top right, but I figure with that much, with all these delays, it might not matter at all. So, yep, and you know, don't make the mistake of stacking delays. If they have that delay icon on them, if you try to use that strike shot again, it will do absolutely nothing. So, you know, for those of you who actually don't have much experience using these delay style strike shots, do keep that in mind. You don't want to make that mistake. It hurts, especially for something as powerful as you know, those delay strike shots. Double checking Dorothy's strike shot. Yep. Let's motivate, command. I forget which one was which, but that's a good amount of damage, 2 million damage, so I'm pretty satisfied. And those laser stops probably helped a lot. Weak point damage. And great. This guaranteed the win. Strike shot just for kicks. There you go. Kushinada Kai. You know, I always feel like I say 0 on accident for the Kai levels, but it's just Kushi Kai. Again, you have the option of 5 different sub-bomb combos for clearing the stage, and luck drops do not matter at all. So, you know, there's no need to stack luck monsters, just bring your strongest and best to the stage. Now, the no continue is a guaranteed drop for Kushikai, and any other drops will be your standard Kushinadas. And the plus for the Kai units is that they're already 6 stars, so you don't need to evolve them. And they have, as I said earlier, 1 of 5 random sub-bomb combos. And they have a berry slot, which is pretty awesome. And they can be fused with their standard forms, so if you already have a max luck Kushinada, you can feed her to Kai, and that's all she wrote. And as you can see here, I got the Kantsu Kakudan. Yeah, so the small nearby attack, which I think is alright. It's not the worst, but I think the poison lock-on shockwaves are the desired ones, so no luck there, but at least I know it's possible. Alright, well, that is it for Kushikai, and until next time, bye bye.